William Ruto has fought many battles, and he has won most of them. But the recent battle that he has started is one that even the experts have agreed he's gonna lose. This will go down as one of the worst political mistakes in this country's history. Many things have been said in Parliament, and to be specific, in the Senate. But none of the speeches that have been given in Senate gives Ruto more sleepless nights like this one.
This divorce that the president is looking for, you shall get it. But it will be painful. It will be hurtful. It will be catastrophic. It will have casualties.
Back then, these words were seen as dramatic, almost as kicks of a dying horse. But today, they've become prophecy. From the president, the leader of opposition back then, Raila Odinga, and all the leaders who are watching this speech, including the members of the public, we were all divided into two. Some people were wishing for this guy to stop talking, and some people resonated with every bit of word that Senator Medhu was saying.
The breaking news that is in is that Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua tonight stands impeached, making history as the first sitting deputy president to be impeached by both houses of parliament.
Now, for those who do not understand the context, less than 10 months ago, President William Ruto and his allies, that is including Raila Amolo Odinga, thought they had won. Gachagua was out. Mount Kenya had been quiet, and the system was now fully theirs.
We have put up a very strong, a watertight case that will ensure by Christmas, Geoffrey Rigathi Gachagua will be walking in the streets like Ferdinand Waititu.
Whatever means they had used to achieve this was something they did not wish to discuss more. This was such a hurried process. It was a means to an end. To them, the end justified the means. They did not worry about the casualties of that very process.
But when I arrived to sign the impeachment motion, I was actually number 242, and there was a queue already. So meaning that we are going to have more than whatever we require to impeach the deputy president.
But what they did not realize is that divorces come with consequences. And the pain that they thought they were avoiding is now knocking on their own door.
At the final vote that will be casted today, we might be the first casualties. But the casualties of today are not necessarily the casualties of tomorrow.
On October 17th, 2024, Senator John Medhu stood in the Senate and delivered one of the boldest warnings to a sitting president.
It is not in vain that we have been instructed not to sanction this divorce. But if it comes, we shall take it in our strides. I want to tell the people who are here, the vote that we shall cast here, we shall not put it in our minds. We shall put it in our hearts.
Anyone with an active conscience would have listened to the mood of the country. Anyone whose feelings are alive would have considered to see what does the people really want.
The people of the region that I have mentioned are at their lowest. We are calling on the senators who are here. It is time to stand with us.
They even pretended to hold what they called a public participation exercise, which we all know was just a facade. And the mood of the country was very clear. They did not want the deputy president impeached for obvious reasons.
Na kama munataka sasa mujue opinion yangu sasa. Kama Caroline Chemto, hakuna mwenye anabaki. Na ikiwezekana, pia ma-MP waende. Hata ma-MP waende.
But the president, as usual, chose to be the tone-deaf president, one who do not listen to the wishes of the people, and went ahead to do that which was his wish.
This motion had to be processed in a haste. We had to try a man in hospital because the only crime that Rigathi Gachagua has committed is a political crime. So he had to be removed out of the way, whatever it will take. That can only happen if it has the direct sanctioning of the President of the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency William Samoei Ruto.
So in the most obvious practice of William Ruto, he did not listen to the warning. He did not listen to the warning from Senator Medhu. Ruto went all in. Gachagua was impeached. Kindiki was quietly elevated. And the message to Mount Kenya was clear. You are no longer needed.
Umeguza wa Munyoro. Na wa Munyoro hiyo ndio mambo ambayo sasa tunataka kuuliza. Hapo sasa ndo umeguza mulima. Wakati ulikuwa hapa na watu walikupenda sana, ulimchagua Bwana Rigathi Gachagua, akawa naibu wako, mkaingia katika uongozi. Lililosababisha akang'atuliwa kutoka kwa kiti cha unaibu wa rais. Ni jambo ambalo lilikera watu wengi sana wa mulima, sababu walisema umemng'atua mtu wetu.
Something that William Ruto never understood is that the Mount Kenya people are very emotional people. They vote with emotion, not logic. And those are the worst kind of people to deal with, because then you cannot be reasonable with them. He thought he'd take Gachagua, shove him somewhere, let him be forgotten, and then give them Kindiki, who seemed more professional. In his head, he thought that he would divide Mount Kenya into two. We'd have Mount Kenya East and Mount Kenya West. So either way, he felt like he wouldn't have lost the whole mountain. The problem, when the mountain speaks and when it has a mobilizer like Gachagua, it speaks in one voice.
Mimi nimekuja kusikiza ground. Meru. Ground inasemaje?
In other words, I've heard people say that Ruto forgot that Mount Kenya doesn't beg to be at the table. Mount Kenya builds the table. You'll be the judge of how true that statement is. William Ruto started another targeted attack on the Mount Kenya leaders. This is the crackdown on any leader who associates himself with Rigathi Gachagua. The latest is the youth leader Peter Kawanjiko and Wanjiko Thiga, who were arrested, released, and in a very dramatic way, rearrested by anti-terror police. Many times, the people have advised the president from going this route because this is the route his predecessor used. President Uhuru Kenyatta persecuted anyone who associated himself with William Ruto. But Ruto couldn't stop himself. He was too intimidated. He was too much pushed into a corner that instead of stopping, he doubled down.
Jana, karibu tupoteze maisha ya kiongozi wetu Rigathi Gachagua. Tulikuwa tumekaa naye ndani ya gari, na viongozi wengine pia walikuwa kwa gari zao, lakini mimi nilikuwa nimekaa naye ndani ya gari. Na wakaweka vijana kwa barabara wanachoma mataa. Ndani ya hao vijana kuna mapolisi wamevaa plain cloth, wako na bunduki, na walikuwa wanajaribu kupiga kwa gari ya deputy president wetu.
The problem with Ruto's mistakes, they get worse by the day. Every day he does something even worse. And you know what that does? That broadens the dissent. It's no longer about Mount Kenya. Ruto's war on dissent has now united the whole country. And make no mistake, people have genuine reasons of fighting William Ruto. The crippling taxes, the unbearable cost of living, joblessness, police killings, the punitive, broken healthcare system. I mean, what started as a betrayal for only one region has become a national-wide rebellion.
Lingana na hii serikali ya Ruto na mzee Raila Odinga is the worst. Yani imefika mbali Raila anapigwa mawe mpaka Nyanza. Mpaka Nyanza Raila, surely. Raila wewe unafaa ufunguke macho pia.
The president's narrative of 41 versus 1, something that he tried to sell on numerous occasions, using his errand boys like Kimani Ichung'wah, the politicians from Rift Valley, and even some politicians from ODM zones like Kaluma. That narrative was dead on arrival because now it's not one tribe versus 41. Now it's 42 tribes versus one man. The movement has gone national.
Wale watu wa 10 bila break wanatokanga Kisumu kila siku wanatusi watu. Oh, Gachagua asi kanyaga Kisumu. Gachagua hisi kanyaga Kisumu. Sasa ile hii inaweka hapa ni wapi? Hapa ni wapi? Gachagua anatoka Kisumu, watu wa Kisumu wanamwambia one term.
Kenyans are chanting the same thing. One term. And the people who are saying one term are even being generous, because there are some who are saying half term.
Half time. After you one time imekuwa mrefu sana. Wale wanakuhurumia kama kina Gachagua na wengine ndio wanakuambia one time. Sisi unavaa kwa half time kwa sababu akili yako ina capacity ya kuongoza hata matanga.
Now Ruto didn't just lose Mount Kenya. He's losing the entire country. Even some people from his backyard, some even in his own government, are saying we can't survive another 5 years of this.
I think it is a high time tuambie wasi wa gava ukweli. Unajua unaona tuna joke. If you're in government, know this. When the right time comes, any property that you have acquired, any business that you have started out of corruption, jua tu, who will come for those businesses, who will come for those properties, wherever they are. Zote zitaenda chini. Mark my word. When the right time comes, you are all going either to flee this country or be in jail.
And that, as a president, should worry you.
Kataa askari kuteseka na kutumika vibaya ili kufurahisha watu wakora mamlakani. Sema half term.
People are agitated. People are in dissent. People are angry. But most of all, people are ready. People wish that tomorrow was the election day. But unfortunately, it is not. What it is the Saba Saba. Tomorrow is Saba Saba, a historic day of resistance in Kenya.
On Saba Saba, Monday, July 7, we will hold a peaceful march across all the streets of the nation. We will walk in honor of our fallen comrades. We will march for justice against the extrajudicial killings, abductions, and for the freedom we were born to enjoy.
And this year, it means one thing. We have seen through the lies. We are tired of extrajudicial killings. We are tired of bad economy. We are tired of a few people benefiting from the sweat and taxes of the entire country. We are tired of paying illegal debt. That is the message on Saba Saba.
Why people? The gava is panicking. People are being abducted. People are being arrested. They're being taken to court with trumped up charges. Kunoa, man. You know how they say if you push an animal to a corner, it might attack? The animal is attacking. I think wanaona ni kai kitu inaenda.
Ruto thought Mount Kenya was the casualty.
At the final vote that will be casted today, we might be the first casualties. But the casualties of today are not necessarily the casualties of tomorrow.
But now, the casualty might just be his presidency. And make no mistake, this is not tribal. This is generational. This is not about Gachagua. It is about justice. This is no longer a Mount Kenya fight. This is a Kenya's fight.
Na hiyo Jumatatu tarehe 7 hiyo. Bwana Yesu. Oi my father. Oi Jehovah.
The divorce happened. And it's not just painful. It's powerful. It's consequential. Tomorrow is Saba Saba. And Kenya will speak.